Hey there, it's Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and we're looking at a Mitsubishi Pajero Mini. This is a little 4x4 K car. This one 1996 with 73,000 kilometers on it. This is cool. It comes with a double overhead cam 20 valve 4-cylinder engine. Now a lot of the K cars here in Japan, because they're limited to 660cc, that's less than a liter in displacement, they often have 3-cylinder engines. This one here is not only a 4-cylinder, but also 5 valves per cylinder, sort of like what Toyota did with their AE101 and AE111 engines, as well as Audi did with their 1.8T engines. But 5 valves per cylinder is something that's very rare, especially nowadays. I don't know if anyone makes a 5 valve per cylinder at the moment. This one's 73,000 kilometers, you can see. We'll take a look at the condition of the vehicle and compare it to the auction inspection sheet. Yep, this one was bought from auction by us for export, and we're sending this one over to the USA. Okay, so you can see the teeny tiny little turbocharger there. It is intercooled, so that is actually a pretty sizable intercooler for such a small engine. And then the 4 runners for the intake. I don't have a lot of experience driving this engine, but it's the same engine I believe that was in like the TRXX version of the Daihatsu Mira, and so having it in a teeny tiny little SUV is a little bit special. The Pajero Minis I think are good. They're a lot cheaper than the Jimny. They're more of a soft roader than the Jimny, and so yes, they are 4-wheel drive. That's selectable, 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. They do have a low gear ratio as an option. They don't have the solid axles that the Jimny has, and they don't have as much aftermarket support, but they are a third the cost or so there is a lot of nice savings there. And if it's not something that you intend to go off-roading in frequently, it can be just a good year-round fun vehicle. The styling on it, very cool, obviously styled after the regular version of the Pajero. But the Pajero Mini is teeny tiny, a little 2-door SUV. A little bit bigger than an Austin Mini, I'd say in all directions, probably about 10% bigger. There's the real version of the Pajero. Kind of interesting. Real Pajero. Pajero Mini. Or Mini-Me version of the Pajero. The VR2 is the turbocharged version. Okay, so let's have a look at the auction inspection sheet first. Overall, the condition is good, spare for some bad paint, so we'll take a look. 1996 Pajero Mini VR2, auction grade 3.5. Both interior and exterior are grade C. 73,125 original kilometers, that is known mileage and provable. 5-speed manual AC. The sales points here are first time at auction. The interior of the car has the original wheels, and aftermarket audio has been installed. The report says windshield rock chip. Here it is. It's actually a little bit bigger than a rock chip usually is. Okay. Interior scratched, wear, dirty, stain, cigarette burn. Let's find that cigarette burn because I did not notice a cigarette burn. So cigarette burns are almost always in the same location. If you hold it with your right hand, they tend to be here, which it isn't. If you hold it in your left hand, they tend to be around the shifter, which I'm not seeing. And then seats come next. That's when you drop it. And it looks like there it is. So in the passenger seat, there's a single cigarette burn there. That's the only one I can find. It doesn't smell like cigarettes inside the vehicle, so probably the most recent owner, or the previous owner to us, weren't smokers, which is good. Whenever you see cigarette burns on here, you can usually assume it will smell of cigarettes, but this one doesn't. And the AC works, and I tried the vents and everything, so there's no excess smell that comes in from the vents. Okay, and it comes with winter tires on it. The tires are 5 years old, have about 70% of their tread left on them. But do keep in mind, a winter tire works best when it's at full or close to full tread. So they will work, they won't be as effective, and it is a very lightweight vehicle, so do be careful with that. Lightweight vehicles, you obviously have to drive a lot different because you get less traction because of it. Okay, it says exterior paint fade and peeling. It's true. Aftermarket wheels scratched, door mirror scratched, very small scratches, small dents. Then the body has a number of scratches, basically A1, A2, A1, 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 A2, A2, and U2. Basically the front and rear bumper have noticeable scratches. The sides not so much, but around each door handle you'll see some. And then the roof and the hood are both faded paint quite badly. So now let's take a look around. I love the front end on these. The next generation got headlights that look a lot more like that one. But I like these round headlights. They do look great. The bull bar on the front is original. It even has a little platform to put fog lights if you want to. Okay, that hood scoop obviously is a functional one for the intercooler. And the fender mirror there give you good visibility. Let's go around it now. Nice little short wheelbase and fantastically small front and rear overhangs. Okay, the two-tone paint is great. That's gold and dark green. It's a lovely combination. Rear mount spare tire. This is a 4-seater. In fact, all K cars in Japan are regulated to no more than 4 seats. And if a police car ever sees you driving with more than 4 people in the car, they will pull you over because they know you're not wearing your seatbelt. It's the only time in Japan that you're going to get in trouble for not wearing a seatbelt, I swear. It's so strange. When I came here, kids are like, because according to the official rules, in the rear seat, you don't need to have your seatbelt on. So kids often don't. It's the weirdest thing. So I guess in that respect, you wouldn't be getting a ticket for not having your seatbelt on in the back. You'd be getting a ticket for over-occupancy in the vehicle. Okay, so look at the grille and the front bumper. It has a skid plate on the bumper there. That's nice to see. The hood. Now the hood has been repainted with spray paint, so it's a very terrible finish. You can see some peeling on the cowl and some fade on the hood. So it looks like they already tried to repair some fade that was going on. And so that hood and cowl are going to need to be repainted. The roof, same thing. Now the rest of the paint on the body is pretty good. The tops of the fenders aren't faded. There are no over fenders on it. There's actually a Pajero Junior, which is the Pajero Mini with I think a 1 liter or 1.1 or 1.2 liter engine. And it has over fenders because you're allowed to be wider. See, with a K car, you're restricted in the size of the vehicle, length, width, and height. And because of that, you can't have the over fenders on here. As soon as you put them on, you don't qualify for the K class registration. Here's the aftermarket wheel. Pretty good looking 5-spoke. There's some damage to the inner wheel liner. Okay. Front bumper has taken a hit there and has been touched up with touch-up paint. That's what they would consider an A2. Going down the side, it's looking good. You don't really have any dents on this, which is nice, but this area around here has more than your average scratches, including some circular scratches with the center point of that being the key cylinder, and so it's probably other key is dangling, and you know, every time that you go to open it, maybe your other keys are swiping it a bit. Okay, going on the back here, this is your A2 on the back. Okay, double overhead cam, 20 valves. How many 20 valve engines are out there? Not a lot. And I think most of the ones on the road these days are probably 5 cylinders. So 4 valve per cylinder, 5 cylinders, like a Volvo or Audi. Okay, paint, fade again. Yeah, all the gaskets on the rear 2 windows are peeling. Okay. Also this back window, all the way around, everywhere. It's a cracked gasket due to cycles of humidity and then dry weather. Japan, I'm sure, has some of the biggest difference between the humid summers and the very dry winters. Okay, external hinges on the back here. Place for your spare tire on the back. That looks like the original spare tire. Maybe not, it's too soft for that. Okay, mud flaps on the back. Side panel here is good, and then the same issue with the scratches around the handle there. The rest of this side is good. I think the back decals are a little bit peeling. You can see around here, whatnot. Underside looking really good. I don't normally show the underside because I just don't. It's just not part of what I do in this walk around video. Normally I take 3 photos from the front, 2 from the sides, and 3 from the rear so you can see the underside. And if you request it, I'll get you some video of the underside. But this one looks clean, and I think it's really easy to see in those pictures. Okay, a side opening back door, just like the full-size version of the Pajero. You actually have a dent right here. Kind of a weird place for a dent to be. And then not a lot of place for groceries unless you flip those seats down, but a decent amount of space in here for sitting. Like for being such a small vehicle, it is tight in there. The seats are both in the full back position, but it is manageable. It's probably about the same as a Jimny, which is also known as the Samurai in North America. This is a cool vehicle outside of Japan. Inside Japan, it's a cool vehicle. Outside of Japan, it's much cooler, though. It's something that nobody knows about. Little SUVs are highly desired because people know they're like mountain goats. They can go anywhere. The lightweight makes them a lot better off-road. The short wheelbase obviously helps. And right out of the package, I mean, it's a capable little vehicle. Okay. So the door card fabric is loose. If you look here, it's kind of come off. The one on the passenger side is even worse. You can probably spray glue in there and seal it back up. Really big doors make it easy to get in and out of. I recommend people be 6'2" or shorter in order to drive it. Anything bigger than that, it's probably not very comfortable, which is actually pretty good for a K car. Not the best, but pretty good. I'd say something like an Alto Works or a K Works have more space than this inside. Okay. Steering wheel's in pretty good condition. This one does have power steering, which feels a little bit weird on a K car because it already is so light to begin with. It's sort of like power steering on a Miata. You get a field gauge, which shows you your altitude, outside temperature, clock, and a compass here. Kind of neat. The altitude is probably the most fun out of all of those. The compass, I'm not really sure who's going to actually rely on this compass if you need to use a compass. I probably wouldn't. The AC works, very simple controls here for that. Here's the CD player. It's a CD player. It probably also has a USB in here that hooks up to the CD player. Cup holders for your cups. You want more cups? You got it. There are more cup holders up here. Okay, now both sides of the door handles are scratched. It seems like the type of plastic that they're made out of would cause these to get damaged easier. It's sort of like a waxy type of plastic that's different from everything else. 5-speed manual. Yes, 5-speed manual in a car like this is awesome. It does feel a little bit weird because of a very light and springy clutch pedal, but that's easy to get used to. After a day of driving, you'll be fine. Okay, and yes, selectable 4-wheel drive. That's nice. You don't have to have it in 4-wheel drive unless you want it to. Okay, now the driver's side, you typically wouldn't get in this side because the seat doesn't slide when you pull it up like that. But generally pretty easy to get into the back, I would say. Car seats, maybe not so easy, but I don't know. Most people who have kids in car seats are probably not going to be driving something like this anyway. Okay, good condition floor mats, rubber with fabric on it. No bad smells inside. I think overall this is a pretty good Pajero Mini, and going to be a lot of fun to rip around in it. Oh, here's something I forgot to mention. There's some surface rust that's been taped over with some aluminum tape. Easy enough to take that off and repaint it, and I think it would look really good in white. Okay, there we have it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.